What's up, UA fam? Ashley here. And if you love this podcast and you actually find yourself re-listening to episodes and wanting more of Taryn and I, guess what? You should subscribe to our Supercast where we give you bonus content every single week. But not just basic episodes, we do interactive episodes like personalized AMAs where you can specifically ask Taryn how her dating life is going, and you can specifically ask me how it's been living with my boyfriend this past few months. We do solo episodes and even scary episodes because we know how much you guys love those scary stories. And our Supercast community has been growing exponentially, so don't miss out. Subscribe to Supercast now and join the fun.
My hair looks so good, and now it does not. There we go.
I feel like your hair looks great. Your hair's so long.
I know.
It's crazy.
I actually just trimmed it.
Did you?
Took some inches off. They were all dead.
I would hope you're not just cutting healthy hair for no reason, like me, but I'm just kidding.
I feel like this is very us.
This is very us starting episode 2.
This is just where we're at these days, you know?
Yeah, that's where we're at. Okay, so hi, we're starting the podcast.
Oh my God.
No, oh my God.
I forgot I had a surprise for the second podcast.
What?
I had a surprise that I was going to surprise you with.
Oh, okay. Ash is running to her bag. You already gave me a birthday present today. What else is it? Like a mic? Okay, now she has a bag. It's navy blue. It says Yeti on it with gray trim.
There are other things that are Yeti.
Like a cooler?
Yes.
But like what cooler comes in like a zipper bag?
All the people on YouTube are going to see this way before the actual listeners.
What is it? Oh.
I figured we could share it for a second.
Ashley. First. Huh?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Thank you, Mandy. Thank you.
First of all, I need this because I'm lagging so bad.
Girl.
Second of all, this is hold on. I have so much to say.
I know.
You know how people
I know.
go by Starbucks calendar?
Uh-huh.
Like when they see Starbucks, come on in, Mandy. Come on
Get
in.
in
Wave
there.
to the
Get in the
camera,
shot,
girl.
Mandy.
Don't be shy.
Don't cut it, Michaela.
You know how people will like drive through Starbucks and they're like, when Starbucks posts holiday drinks, that means it's officially whatever.
Yeah, when the pumpkin latte.
We're ringing it in. Is it too early? It's not too early.
Can y'all guess what it is? Can y'all guess what it is?
They're like, obviously it can.
Obviously you can. It's Alani News Witch's Brew.
Which is the signature for fall. This is our energy. This is what keeps us alive and moving during October series.
And like, I'm going to be honest, like I'm not actually quite ready for fall yet.
No.
But damn, this is making it, this is making me like,
oh my God,
almost
it's coming.
I'm like, should I light a candle? Question mark. Should I just like go crazy and like,
oh my God,
buy some candles? That's how this is making me feel. Alicia surprised me with one the other day, and it just brought my mood sky high.
No,
so
I was not
literally
expecting
saved one for this episode.
You love me.
I'm gonna crack her open.
Let's do it.
I can. Excellent.
Sexy.
Excellent crack.
Sexy. Now do a pour.
Uh-huh.
ASMR tingles. Someone in their car right now is like, you are a horrible person because now I have to be. Thank you. This looks like a beer.
I know, seriously.
Cheers. Wow.
Happy second episode.
Dude, we have 4 to do today, so prayers.
Yeah,
for
we
us.
have a wild day today. But this actually brought me to the second thing I wanted to say.
Oh, okay.
Which is wild.
What?
In the same family of our favorite Alani New Witch's Brew, October series is kind of around the corner.
Okay.
Y'all.
Wait, this episode goes up so... No, it is the first day of fall.
It is. Wait. Okay. Wait, guys. Okay. Wait, I need to explain. We are trying to like bulk up, so we are filming this early. The fact that this is actually coming out on September 1st and we did not plan this is wild.
Kismet, baby.
It's wild. And I'm so excited.
No, I'm so pumped.
Now I'm ready for fall.
Yeah. Now I'm ready.
That's all it took.
Like, that's really all it took.
But all that to say, October series is around the corner. And as I'm sitting here sipping my witch's brew, if you have a scary story that you would like to share for our October series, we will not only be reading scary stories on the pod as we normally do, we'll be doing it on Supercast as well. We'll be doubling.
And just to like broaden your submissions, we like it's for entertainment purposes too. So like not that you should make up fake stories, but like when you tell your story, you might think it's like this tiny little incident that happened, but like tell the story, like bring us into the moment, all the details. If it's like a crazy unsolved murder in your town, like tell us about it. If it's like, oh my gosh, my best friend has this crazy story she brings out all the time at Halloween, tell us about it. Like scary, then also like things you thought were scary, but it actually was like your dog in the corner, like funny for the scaring it ups. Like we want it all.
Yeah.
So bring it all. Folk, like folklore, like
like maybe your town has like a special like story that everyone knows, but like you have kind of like disregarded because as just like silly little like small town stories. No,
sure.
We want to hear it.
No, for sure.
It's like this is all about 'tis the season.
And here's the thing, we show up.
We do.
For October series.
We do.
We are planning on showing up so hard this year. So you guys need to help us show up too by sending in stories.
I'll leave you. Just know good things are coming. But I wanted to say, I was talking to my mom the other day. Wait, should we take a sip together? Ready, set, go.
So silent. I was trying to make it like slurp, but.
Oh, yeah.
Yum.
I was talking to my mom the other day and she like retold this story that I had heard once. And I looked at her and I was like,
write it in.
That's terrifying. And she was like, yeah, it is kind of scary. You know, my mom. Yeah, it is kind of scary. And I was like, no, like that's scary. I can't believe you lived through that. And she was like, yeah, I guess so. And I was like, you should write it in. And she was like, oh, for October series? And I was like, yes, Mom. So if I can get her to write it in, I might save a spot for that one because it was a good one. And I don't want to give it away, but like it was good.
Because we are being scared by ghouls and goblins instead of scary men. Yeah. And stupid best friends. Yeah. Like it's a little break.
It's just a little
It's just a little break.
It's just a little breather, you know? And honestly, I see no difference between the scary men that we talk about on the day-to-day podcast and the ghouls and goblins.
The bear, man or the bear. Like bear.
Yeah.
1000%.
It's all scary out here. So if you have a spooky story that you would like to share or a funny kind of scary story you'd like to share, please write it in and simply title it October series. And Karen, do you want to shout out the email right now just to do it, just so it's all like fresh?
You can send it to adviceunsolicitedpod@gmail.com. Cannot wait. Dude, speaking of, it's scary, but it's just like a really crazy true crime case I heard of the other day, which I'm trying to remember what podcast it was on. My ones I've been rotating is obviously Anatomy of Murder. I talk about it all the time.
Yes, you
love that episode or podcast. It might be them, or I've been listening to True Crime with Kendall Ray. Ooh. Really she's like a YouTuber. And then she started doing like a podcast too, but she does like true crime. She's just like very mellow vibe. Like I like her a lot.
The mellow vibes.
The thing I love about her more than anything is like she kind of just tells the case. Like it's not as like theatrical where you're like, who is it? Like she'll tell you right from the beginning. She'll be like, and that's when she met Brandon. And every time she says like the murderer's name, it's always like Brandon. And I'm like, dude, that's me. But okay, anyways. So this guy dies. They come to investigate. And his wife is like, oh, he was very depressed. He like committed suicide. But the way he committed suicide was drinking antifreeze. I always get confused how to say it.
Same. That's a rough way to go.
well, automatically the detectives were like, that's like a very painful, like drawn out death.
Yeah.
And he had a gun under his bed. So they were like,
yeah,
this doesn't make sense. So this happens, right? The wife is playing like grieving widow, whatever. They start to like piece some things together. They find out her first husband passed away from just, it says a heart attack. But like, obviously, you know, what's really like scary about like humans being involved in like the justice system is like, if they looked and they're like, oh yeah, this looks like a heart attack. Cool. Someone signs heart attack, they move on. If they don't suspect like foul play, they're not going to do all the tests, whatever.
Right.
So they decide to exhume her first husband's body. While she finds out they're exhuming the body, her daughter, she calls 911 again because her daughter is committing suicide. So they rush out, and her daughter has so many drugs in her system. They literally said, like, if she would have been like 10 minutes later, like something crazy like that, like she would have been dead.
Yikes.
They also do testing on the first husband.
No.
Guess what's in his system?
Oh, no.
Antifreeze. The daughter, it was just like a bunch of pills and stuff. But when she made the mistake of calling 911 too soon because they were able to save the daughter.
Yeah.
And the daughter ends up telling them like she was being like weirdly pushed. She had just turned 21. So her mother was like, here, let's drink together, and was literally shoving drugs in her system.
No.
When they found the daughter, there was a typed note of her daughter confessing to killing both of her biological dad and then now stepdad.
Oh my God.
The biological dad, she would have been 12 years old.
Ridiculous.
A
grown 12, man at 12? I
did not know what antifreeze was or that it could kill you or like, hello?
Yeah.
So the daughter survived, and they basically were able to like pin everything on the mom. But like, what kind of evil?
No.
You killed two of your husbands, and then when you think you're going to get caught, you kill your daughter to pin their murders on.
Absolutely insane.
Isn't that wild?
So would you recommend this Kendall Ray for people to listen to?
Absolutely.
Like leading up to October series?
Like I said, I can't really remember. I'll try it. Mandy, remind me to like look this up. I'll try to find the episode and like link it.
Okay.
Because the case was fascinating. But yeah, I've been like binging because I went for a while without listening. So now I've been like catching up on all of it. And so I listened to like 3 different podcasts in one day the other day. So I can't remember. But isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I kind of restarted again too. I think I notoriously listen to My Favorite Murder, and I will never stop. But I've taken breaks with a bunch of other ones before, and I go through seasons. But I currently like dove into Morbid, and I have always listened to them like off and on. And I'm currently like kind of catching up to a bunch of their stuff too.
Yeah.
So I would recommend them. So there's a couple recs for you guys to kind of get like warmed up with leading into October series. Should we go ahead and dive into tearing it up?
Let's do it.
All right. This one is titled, They Put a What in the Bedroom?
Oh God. There's so many. There's so many.
It's a great title.
There's like so many directions.
I was just like, huh? Excuse me? Hey ladies, my name is Maddie. And while I've written in a handful of times, most of them tearing it ups because my life is in constant chaos, I think I have a winner today. Well, actually, you read one of my tearing it ups years ago. Remember the girl who accidentally dated the gay guy after moving to college?
Yes.
Yep. That's me. And me and that guy did become besties, if you were wondering. Aww. I mean, it was inevitable, right? I feel like once you like share that moment together, you're like, well, so should we just like be best friends now?
Should we just like commit to this?
She continues. Before getting into my latest incident, I gotta let you guys know how much I adore you and the podcast. I've been listening since I was in high school. For reference, I am 21 now.
21.
And just graduated college. So I've spent a good chunk of my life with y'all.
Aww.
You both have a way of speaking kindly yet honestly that I really admire. Admire. That I really admire.
This witch brew.
This witch brew's got me.
Witch brew's hitting.
She's drunk. On behalf of all of us, thanks for handling our delicate, messy lives with so much grace and compassion. You're the best.
Aww.
Not me crying over here. Now on to my story. I've spent the last few weeks touring apartments as I get ready to start my first big girl job. Today was my last tour, and spoiler, I did not end up going with this place. The unit itself was decorated a little oddly, but it was nice. The leasing agent was also nice. He looked to be about 30, and he was thankfully forgiving when I couldn't figure out where I was supposed to meet him. We were greeted at the door by the current tenant's cat, which neither me nor the leasing agent knew about, but otherwise things were going smoothly.
Ash, are you buying an apartment that a cat was previously in?
I hope not.
I don't, like, even if they cleaned it as well as they possibly could, that dander is finding.
Well, even, I mean, I know
my system.
Luckily, like, even touring it, it did look really clean, and I know they're having someone, like, professionally clean it, but, like, I will be going before furniture gets there, and I will be cleaning it myself.
Because like nobody needs to die of an allergy attack on their first.
Yeah, and also just nothing feels clean unless I know for sure, like, I cleaned
Especially a bathtub.
Yeah, or a toilet. Like, I'm like, also dishwashers. There's a guy on TikTok, if I can find I can never remember his name.
Is it one of those, like, they pull out a random thing that you never even knew was there and, like, all this gunk, like, pours out?
This guy's from Europe. I want to say he lives in London, like the city. And I think I'm blanking on his actual TikTok handle, but oh my God, he is like the most OCD clean freak, and I love it. And I watch all of his videos. And when I first moved to my apartment now, he made me check my dishwasher.
I've never checked
and it
mine.
was
I'm scared.
Disgusting. And I lost my mind, and I washed it, and he made me check my washer and dryer.
The washer has something I was going to say.
Yeah. And it was just, especially if you rent. If you own, it's a little different.
That's true.
You still should, but like at least it's your grime.
And you know, like, approximately how long like
Yes.
you've had the appliance.
And like the dirt is yours.
Mm-hmm.
It's different when it's like you're moving in and it's someone else's. That's what I don't like. So like I'm going to be looking at the dishwasher and the washing machines and deep cleaning them myself, and then I'll feel better about everything.
Yeah.
But otherwise things were going smoothly. I was looking around the bathroom when I heard the leasing agent open the bedroom door and stutter, oh no. And then silence. So obviously I left the bathroom and nonchalantly ventured into the bedroom where the leasing agent was. And guess what I saw? No. Seriously. Guess. I'd love to know what you're thinking right now.
My mind immediately went to like a crazy mural like Winston on New Girl.
Ooh, good guess.
Or like a stuffed animal, or like a sex
stuffed
swing.
real animal?
Yeah.
Ooh, excellent guesses, Taryn.
That's where I went.
She continues. I was greeted by a giant stripper pole.
Oh.
In the middle of the room.
Middle is wild.
Middle
like,
is
corner,
crazy.
Corner is like,
Maybe it's just like
a hobby.
It's like here and there.
Middle's
Middle, they
wild.
needed space to swing
around.
Now, honestly, this isn't something that I would have thought much of outside of the fact that this apartment complex is located right next to a high school in suburban Wisconsin. But this poor man was so uncomfortable. He started with, as you can see, there's plenty of space here. He kept mumbling comments to himself and awkwardly laughing about it. But the line that got me was when he said, well, clearly they make a lot of money because they're moving into a house. So good for them. I mean, what do you...
Yeah.
You can just picture this poor guy like not knowing what to say to this
recover?
female, and there's a stripper pole there. I mean, at least he's a respectful, sex-positive king. I don't know. This poor young man just could not let this go. He was so flustered for the rest of the tour that this is actually his tearing it up more than it is mine.
I was going to say.
I was thoroughly entertained. Oh, and he specified that the pole would be removed before I moved in, of course. And then she adds, darn it. I attached a picture of the infamous pole. Sadly, the infamous man was not in the photo. I hope you enjoyed this story. Keep it up with the podcast, and I'll be back in a month when I have my next awkward encounter. And then here is the photo of a literal, it's like an actual just bedroom with a giant stripper pole in it.
That is very like prominent.
Yeah, the bedroom's like a long rectangle. The bed's at the end of the rectangle, and in the towards the front of the rectangle, more centered, is the stripper pole, and it's just taking up the whole space, which is crazy.
I wonder if it's just for practice, or like, you know how there's those TikToks where it's like the like
yes.
people will do like cool stuff to like songs and like whatever. Yeah. I wonder if it was like for that use or like what it was.
Well, because like maybe they work at like a club, mm-hmm. and then they come home and they like practice their maneuvers there. Sure, but then also like maybe they work from home sometimes.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
Do content?
I don't know. Also, like if you're filming, like imagine filming yourself and wanting to do that content. I would want to do that from home too. Like I wouldn't want to do that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, I wouldn't
like
do
a
it.
Public stripper pole. So
absolutely not.
Yeah.
All right, on to our first story. This one is titled "Book Hangovers Are Ruining My Life." That's so real.
That is real.
This is very real. Hi, beautiful ladies. I have been a viewer since the beginning and have never missed an episode. You guys are the big sisters I never had. Thank you for the safe little corner of the internet you two have cultivated for your UA fan.
Oh, I love that. That makes me so happy.
A little bit about me. My name is Annie, and yes, you can use it. I'm a 21-year-old. Oh my gosh, 21 is like the theme.
Yeah, it is.
Nurse from Indiana. I just recently graduated from nursing school last year, so I've been living it up in my post-grad life. I haven't taken the Enneagram in a while, but last I took it, I remember being a 2, which makes sense with my career choice. Yeah, it totally does. I recently accepted my dream job at a level 1 trauma ER in one of the best hospitals in the state. Okay, on to my issue. I feel like this is going to sound wild, but here we go. Recently, I've started incorporating reading more into my routine.
Same.
I've been dabbling in fantasy. Where are my Akatar and Fourth Wing fans?
Ooh, girl. We be best friends.
I do have one of them that I need to start, but I haven't started yet. Safe to say, I'm obsessed. Almost too much. I feel like when I pick up a book, I immerse myself so much into the realm, the characters, the lore of it, that my own personal life seems to fade away in the process. I find myself not wanting to do anything but read. It eats into all areas of my life. I start to feel sad about my own life, which logically in my mind does not make sense. I have a great life, my dream job, good friends, an education, financial stability, a loving family, but yet I look at my life outside of this fake, made-up realm and feel dull. I enjoy reading, but I don't enjoy this part of it. I don't know how to have a normal balance. It feels more than just being a dedicated reader and fan. I also feel guilty for feeling these emotions. With the current state of the world and my career, I see so much tragedy, and yet I still feel like this with my life I'm so fortunate to have. Something to know, I do have a history of depression and mental health struggles. I have worked with a therapist and a psychiatrist throughout my college years, as I had a lot of childhood trauma to work through. I'm sure this is an issue I can debrief in therapy as well, but I want my big sister's advice. Thank you, girls, for everything you do. Even if this is never read by anyone but myself, just writing this out has given me a little relief from the guilt. I've attached a few pictures of myself for your reference. Love and light. Love, Annie. I forgot she said we could use it.
Annie.
Gorgeous. A stunner. So beautiful. She looks like you in that picture.
I see it.
I feel like there are going to be so many people listening right now and being like, oh my God, same. I remember the first time I went through this, and it was when I read Twilight. I was dating someone at the time, and I disappeared for days. Like, he literally would be outside my dorm room like, Karen, come out. Like, you have not come out of your room in 3 days. Like, you missed class. Like, you're not hanging out with me. Like, hello. And I was very much like, Edward would never.
Yeah.
Edward would never do what you do. And I definitely still struggle with, like, not as much reading because I don't read as much, but like when shows end, or like if I've watched a whole season of Love Island and then the last episode, I'm like, what do I do now? Like, so much of my life and that like escaping has been going on. So I feel like this is very valid. I feel like you're a step ahead because you're aware of it. That's like the biggest struggle, is when like people go so deep into worlds or like video game worlds and stuff like that, and they're not even like aware how much it's taken over their life. But I do think there are things you can do to like help in that area.
Yeah. This happens to me all the time. Anytime I finish a book, I'm always like, what's the worst thing is like finishing a book, being like down bad, like, oh, it's over, it's so sad. So you immediately go to a next book and you're in that lull of the next book and it hasn't quite picked up yet, and you're just like dying because like the last one was so good and you're just waiting for the next book to pick up and it's just not, and you're just, that's the worst. I that's what podcasts are for. Like that's when shows end and your book's over and you need something to get you through. That's literally that's what podcasts are for. Like I will listen to all of my favorite podcasts to kind of pick me back up again because it's fresh every single time. I think that really helps me kind of get out of my like slump. I also love listening, bouncing back and forth. I've said this on the podcast before. I've recently, more recently, within the last like year and a half, really dove into Audible books, and I've really been enjoying bouncing back and forth between the two of them. So I pretty much consistently this last year have had a physical book that I've been reading as well as an Audible book that I've been listening to. One, because I love listening to books while driving and walking and running errands. And then I'll, when I'm done with when I've caught up on all my podcasts, I'll just start listening to my audiobook because I just, me and silence don't get along, obviously. Yeah. So I'll be cleaning and listening to my audiobook. And so that way I'm constantly kind of working on something and there is no like dramatic lull. Now, is that healthy? I don't know. I probably should be fine with silence and I probably should be fine with coping with the end of a book. But I don't know. I love stories. I love listening to them and I love being surrounded by them at all times. And I thoroughly enjoy balancing two. And I think Audible makes that kind of more possible because it feels like I don't feel like I struggle keeping them separate.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something you could try.
Yeah. I think the key is like, it's okay. Like we all do that. We all escape into like fantasy and
that's
mystery and it's entertainment. It's stuff that like we love those feelings, like movies, like it's always been like that. I think the part you need to be careful is when you start to compare reality with that. That's where it's hard. Like
when you start comparing your current relationship to Edward Cullen, it's like, okay, well, I might need to stop doing that. Yeah.
And I think like you see things in movies or books or whatever, and you're like, okay, well, that's what passion is, and that's what I want. And it's like, there's someone writing the dream, like the fantasy of like how we all want a man to desire us or like whatever it is. And so I think it's taking the time to, one, be okay with like escaping and recognizing that that's what you do. Like, oh, this is my time where I'm like reading and I'm diving into this world, and when I'm done, then like I'm putting it down because it's a book and I'm putting it down, and then I'm maybe start doing like a lot of affirmations about your life and things you're thankful for, because it sounds like deep down you have so much to be thankful for, but you're just getting too wrapped in the books.
Totally.
And then I also think sometimes in life, like even if we love doing something, if it's not serving us, taking a break. Yeah. Like even with true crime, there's sometimes where I'm like, I need to take a break because I'm paranoid about everything.
Yeah.
I think about this stuff way too much. I'm like scared. So I need to like take a refresher and take a second.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe at the end of the next book or series, maybe like take a little time and like read more like self-help, stuff like that. Maybe like you start journaling, and every time you finish your book, you write 5 things that you're thankful for to like help kind of get you back into reality or whatever.
Yeah.
But I definitely think you should talk with your therapist about it. If you have a therapist, like, girl, talk to your therapist. But I feel like hopefully you feel a little validated to know like we all struggle with it.
It's so common.
Yeah.
It's so common. If you're in BookTok at all, then you know it's common because it's the silliest videos people post about being depressed after finishing a book. And I think it's important to remember, especially the books you mentioned, like they're so deeply fantasy that I hope you're reminding yourself on a regular basis that it's not real, and like that's not a real relationship, and like that's not a real life, and that's not a real body. And I think there's things you can do in that aspect to like reground yourself on what reality actually looks like. And I think that is so healthy. And then I think there's things you can do where it's like, okay, if there's things in the books that you like, there's ways to kind of like bring that into your life in a healthy way where it's like, not the smut aspect necessarily, but like if you're trying to have like a more spicy relationship, like then you can spice it up in a fun way without like it being smut fantasy. Like when was the last time you did something for your partner? Or if you love the fact that your character's out there being some like fairy warrior princess, then like go hit the gym like she does every morning and like wakes up at 5 and runs 5 miles. Like you can bring aspects of like, I think what we love is like watching our character go through everything, and then we go sit in our day-to-day life, and then we're like, our lives are depressing. And I think something we can do, I hope I'm articulating this correctly, is we can take little snippets of it and bring that into our lives. Like we can make our relationship a little more spicy if we want to. If we want to, we can like go run 5 miles and make ourselves like wake up a little bit earlier and like go challenge ourselves in a physical way like Pharaoh would. And like we can dress a little more intentionally. If you're loving the like long flowy outfits that she keeps wearing, then like maybe we put a little more attention into our like fits that day, and that'll kind of like spice up your daily life so it's not as much of a like you know. But it's so relatable, it's so normal, there's nothing wrong with you, we all go through it. Especially, I think, those specific series that you're talking about.
Yeah, like you get so lost in it. It's like its own world, which
it was
feels
like 8
nice.
books.
Yeah.
Like you were in it for a while. So like that's a tough one to bounce back from. So give yourself a little break.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Find a few things that you liked from the series and try to implement it in your own way, in a realistic, healthy, real world way in your life. And then find the next book. Find the next series.
do like grounding exercises when you're done reading too, like just to be like, I'm present in my own life. Like I love this. This is a hobby. This is fun. I like escaping to these worlds. But I also like when I return, I'm grateful for like where I'm at. And I'm recognizing that is not real, but this is real. And this is where like my heart and head should like put the effort into, while that is something that's like little serotonin, but serotonin boost. You know what I mean?
Totally. The real thing for me was the relationship side also of just being like, okay, well, my partner doesn't read my mind and can't know that without me telling him. So like how that's physically impossible. So like there's no way unless I were to actually articulate my feelings to him. So that's not reality. And I can't like imagine that that's going to happen here unless like we like put in some like real work, you know? So anyways, all that to say, super normal, super natural. You've got this. All right. Well, we're going to take a really sharp turn here and move into a new topic. Also, I don't even think we pointed it out, but our YouTubers probably notice it and are like, are they ever going to address it? We literally match.
Oh, like we match.
We like put on our fits and like both sat down and we're literally wearing black and white stripes.
Yep.
And we look like little twinsies right now. But everyone on YouTube's like, are they going to talk about it?
Plan this out?
I'm not sure if this needs a disclaimer, so I'm just going to go ahead and like disclaim. We're going to be talking about porn in this episode.
Ooh.
This one is titled, My Boyfriend is Perfect, but He's Addicted to Porn. Let's dive into it. Hi, ladies. Please, please, please read this on the pod and help me. My name is but I'd like to say anonymous, please. So bleep it, Michaela. I've been listening to your podcast for years, and you guys have helped me through some of the hardest times in my life, just keeping me company and being the big sisters that I never had. Anyways, a little bit about me is I am 27 years old. I'm an Enneagram 2. I'm currently in my 4th year of medical school. I met my boyfriend during my first year of school, and we hit it off immediately. We have been dating for almost 3 years now. Overall, he is an amazing boyfriend and a really great guy. He is very understanding and supportive, and he always goes out of his way to take care of me. He has genuinely become my best friend over the past 3 years. We also recently started living together about 6 months ago. We're very serious and have talked about couples matching for residency and getting engaged in 2 to 3 years. I'm assuming residency and couples matching means working together.
I have no idea.
Okay, engaged in 2 to 3 years. Here comes the problem. He's addicted to porn. I found this out about 6 months into our relationship when I went through his phone and confronted him about some things I found on there. I know I shouldn't have looked through his phone, but that is a topic for a different day. He confessed to me that he has struggled with porn since he was 11 years old and has never told anyone else before. He tried to stop many times but was unsuccessful. He told me then that he had been trying to stop since we started dating but was having a hard time. I told him that I wasn't okay with what he was doing and that for us to continue dating, he would need to really do some work to try to fix this. He ended up downloading an app on his phone that is supposed to block all of those sites. And long story short, over the 2 years since then, there have been a couple of instances where I found out that he actually was still looking at porn again. Each time he has apologized, felt very bad, and reiterated that he wants to stop. He says he is getting better, but just hasn't been able to stop completely. A couple of months ago, I hit a breaking point where I told him that he needed to find a therapist to talk to, and I needed him to be more honest with me when he was struggling. He promised that he would. And now, a couple of nights ago, I picked up his phone to Google something since mine wasn't in the room. This is a very normal thing for both of us to do. We do tend to use each other's phones when ours is out of reach. She added that in parentheses. And that is when I found again that he was trying to look for porn. He told me that this was only the second time in the past couple of months. I reminded him that he promised to tell me and be honest when he was struggling, and he broke his promise. He also was not able to schedule any time with a therapist yet. I want to cut him some slack because he has had a very busy schedule and a difficult past the last couple of months since he is a medical student too, and we just had to take a very big test. He also always feels really bad for making me upset. I want to be there for him and support him through these hard times, but I also want to look out for myself and make sure that my boundaries are being respected. I don't feel comfortable talking to any of his friends or family about this because it feels like such a personal issue to him. So I really need some advice. Please help. Anonymous.
Oof. This topic's such a hard one because it's so dependent on the actual couples. And I think that's where it gets messy because we have so many people that are like, very progressive and very like, oh, you should be whatever. It's not that big of a deal. And so you feel kind of dumb when you have an issue with it. You know what I mean?
It's definitely become like a gray area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
you're either into it or you're not.
Yeah.
And yeah.
With anything in a couple, it's dependent on your own boundaries and things you've set in a relationship. Like, if you're not comfortable going to public restaurants and that's something your partner agrees with, then that's might seem crazy to somebody else, but it's like, what is between the two of you?
Yeah.
And so I think that's where I obviously like feel for you because like that's hard. And I've known plenty of people who've like struggled with this in relationships. The one thing I want to caution you on is the fact that you're kind of forcing yourself into the accountability partner role.
Yeah.
I think that's very damaging for both of you. If someone is going through a struggle that's like impacting you and they have to come and report to you every time they've done something, like it only is going to hurt you and it's going to hurt him. I just don't think that you should be in that place.
Yeah. With anything.
Yeah. But I think he needs to take the steps to go through things. You need to know that like with this, especially like an addiction he struggled with since he was young, it's not going to be just something that he just, I told you never to look at it again and he looked at it and like it's going to be a process for him and it's going to be
flip of the switch.
Yeah. So I think for me, if I saw like he is going to therapy, he needs to find accountability partners in other people, whether that's a pastor at a church, a friend, his therapist, like they have something. He needs to have that in his life. He needs to have accountability. I just don't think that can be you.
Yeah. It shouldn't be you. Because you can be there as a partner, but he should be able to talk to people about this and you shouldn't have to hear it.
Yeah.
You know, and he should have a safe place, genuinely, to like express his struggles, his thoughts, what he's dealing with. And not only should you not have to hear it, you don't want to hear it.
No.
Like that's something for another set of ears to hear and sort through. And I really don't think it's something that you should have to deal with. I think you can help him in other ways, like as a partner, but not through sorting out like all of that stuff. You know, the porn itself is its own issue and we can like set that aside. And like whether as a couple that's an issue or not, it's kind of like beside the point. The like big issue for me is that you set a boundary and he's disregarded it entirely.
Therapy.
Yeah. And like Taryn's right. It's not the type of issue that can simply be fixed with like the flip of a switch. It's going to take time and it means that there's going to be mess ups. So I hope that you are setting realistic expectations in your mind. If you weren't, hopefully with this episode, you're going to, moving forward, recognize that it's I would relate it to like an Alcoholics Anonymous kind of thing where it's like there's going to be mess ups and setbacks, but like hopefully you get back on track. The big issue here is he made a promise to you and he didn't keep it. And that's what would bother me even more than the actual porn itself, which is already like, if it's already a problem, but like that's what I would have a big issue with. That's what, in my opinion, would put the relationship on the line for me, is like we had an agreement. I opened up about how this made me feel. And not only are you doing it again and going behind my back and trying to hide it multiple times, but like you still haven't set up the therapy appointment and you still haven't like tried to like fix it. And the other thing I wanted to say is I feel like, and I get it because all of my girlfriends, including myself, we've all been here. Whenever our partners have a problem, we love to try to defend and like protect. And I can hear it all written through your email about how you're trying to like, you understand and you want to be there and you want to support, but also like, I just want to be here to say like, you cannot coddle. He's a grown man. And I get being there as a partner, but also like if you are talking about engagement and like marrying this man and like doing like residency with him, like you're talking about like saddling up your life with him and like doing it with him, then you need someone who's going to take your boundaries seriously. And I think what I would do if it were me, I think I would sit him down and be like, hey, I know we talked about getting engaged and I know we talked about doing this like residency thing that you mentioned. I can't remember what it's called, but I want to be very clear. I still love you and I still want those things. But until you have a therapist and are in therapy and have a plan, I want to see a plan in place for how we are going to get to the other side of this addiction. I'm going to be putting our future plans on hold. Yeah. I don't think you need to end the relationship necessarily. It sounds like you are in love and you have a good relationship. This is just the one thing in the problem. I'm not saying you have to end the relationship, but I would put future things on hold, not only for yourself and for protection for your future, but also just to show him like the severity of the situation. Cause I don't think it's clocking to him how serious this is. And I think we've said this before on the podcast, Taryn and I both have. I think this is one of those moments where you have to set the bar for what marriage is going to look like and what the future of your relationship is going to look like, when you say something, and this goes for him too, when either of you say something is a boundary, that boundary should not be crossed ever. And I think this is a great time to like really set that bar high of like, you crossed a boundary, like now I'm going to be protecting myself because I can't trust you in this little instance right here. And then that hopefully he will learn to respect. Hopefully he makes some changes and sorts his out. And then if you guys end up getting married, like hopefully if and when he has something that comes up, he will be able to set a boundary and you'll be able to respect it. Like this is something that will protect both of you, even though right now it feels directed at him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's so hard. Like I definitely
I'm sweating. I'm taking my sweater off.
I know it's hot. I like studied like porn and the effects of porn in a marriage and stuff like that when I was in school. And so I definitely lean more on how it can be like very damaging in a relationship, especially like an intimate relationship. But at the same time, like when you study it and you study like why men struggle with it so much, and you look at like these young boys that are like exposed to it when their mind isn't ready to like process what they're seeing, and
that's deep
the
stuff.
way like a male's brain works with like the visual aspect, it gives me like kind of empathy for men who struggle with it. But it's so hard because it does have to do with like your person you love looking at other naked women.
Yeah,
it feels like a violation and like cheating. It definitely feels that, like, and I fully see that.
You're
and like
valid in feeling that way.
Absolutely. So it's so hard because it feels so personal when in reality, like it really doesn't have to do with you. It's a deeper thing that like they're struggling with, and like patterns that have been formed like in their mind. So it's one of those things where that's why I want you to take a step back, maybe even like read some stuff about it and come at it from a place of like empathizing with him and empowering him, instead of what I think a lot of women do is like shame and humiliate. And like, you're disgusting for looking at it. Like that's trash. You're disgusting. And I fully understand why that comes out and why it feels that way. But I think like, if we all think about the thing that we're most ashamed about, most of us can share that with other people, and people can empathize with us and be like, dang, I've struggled with that too. Imagine what that would feel like if you opened up to someone about this thing that you're already ashamed of and struggling with, and they came back at you with like disgust.
Yeah.
Like that would hurt so much, you know?
Man. Yeah.
So I think I would take a second to like look at it from his point. That does not mean you lower your standards and your boundaries at all. I hope you hear me in that. But I think in the way you approach it with him, it can be out of love and saying like, hey, I get it. I understand. I can't imagine what it feels like. I need you to understand how it makes me feel. And I also need you to hear that like, this is my line I'm drawing in a relationship. And if it's not respected, I'm not expecting perfection, but I'm expecting effort to like have this change for long term.
Yeah. And almost like a, hey, if you mess up, I'd rather you tell me and just be like, this happened and I'm sorry. And I've got it locked down now. And instead of this like secretive dance behind your back kind of thing, or maybe that's something you don't want. I don't know. But like, I think you guys need to have a real conversation. And I think you also, Anonymous, need to kind of sit down and decide what you can and cannot handle. Because I think that kind of goes along with the accountability partner, or it could. And I don't know if you want that necessarily. Yeah. I would sit down and decide, one, do you want to be in this relationship if this is going to continue to be a thing? Because it probably will be, realistically. I feel like stuff like this is a burden that people just kind of have in life. I think it can go away. I just think it's one of those things that they will forever kind of struggle with. So really think about long and hard about that. Is that something that you can handle? If you are willing to put up with it and you really want to be in this relationship, then I would sit down and figure out exactly what those boundaries are for you, what you want to hear about, what you don't want to hear about, and what you want him to do for you to continue to move forward in this relationship. Then I would have a very open conversation with him and be like, hey, here's how I'm feeling. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm wanting from you. Would love to hear your thoughts. And then get his reaction. If he's down to like meet you where you're at and like do all of those things and respect your boundary, awesome. I think he's a great guy, and I think he's struggling with something that's really heavy and that sucks, but he sounds like he loves you and is like willing to work on it. And what else can you ask for? Everyone struggles with something, you know? If he isn't willing to meet you where you're at, or is like thinking you're asking too much or whatever, then maybe you take a break and just think about things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh,
I'm sorry.
Hate this topic. Yeah. It's just so hard because I don't know, like most of the time, like when you hear people that have like addictions like this and you hear like what their exposure was to it, it's so sad because a lot of times like it wasn't in their power. It wasn't really like their choice. And, and then there's
like, that's
people
such
who
a
think
young
it's
age.
totally fine and like even have it in their relationship. And like, but that's the thing is like as someone who's going into a partnership, you have to be on the same page about things like this, especially things that like bring you pain, you know?
Yeah. And if you guys see something dramatically differently, that can lead to a lot of issues later on. So honestly, I know it sucks. I'd rather you have this hard conversation now and break up than like be deep into a marriage and still trying to sort through all of this with like kids involved, you know, like it's a heavy conversation, but it's a good one to have beforehand. So
Agreed.
Jackson and I are even like doing premarital counseling to have conversations like this, where it's like not literally anything and everything that could possibly come up in marriage. Let's talk about it now.
Yeah.
And I think you're in that perfect situation. You said you're talking about engagement. Why not talk about it now?
No, yeah.
Let's just get it over
smart.
with.
Yeah. All right. Should we end with a dad joke?
Probably should.
Okay. What cars do sheep drive?
Wool.
Bowel. Lamborghinis.
Ah, man.
You're close there. I mean, if you would have said lamb, I feel like you would have gone
I wasn't
there.
even headed in that direction, which is embarrassing because that should have been next.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, get excited because October series is around the corner.
Yes, sir.
So if you have a story that you want advice on, lifestyle wise, relationship wise, work wise, whatever, or tearing it up, send it in. But also, if you have a scary story that you want read for this season's October series, then send it in. What's our email, Taryn?
adviseunsolicitedpod@gmail.com.
Hey, we love you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.